Welcome back to Cord Art. Today I want to try and explain in the first instance how we made one of these snitches from Harry Potter. As you can see, it's got some angel's wings as its wings. It's got a monkey's fist in the middle, which is all quite small stuff, then decorated with a piece of material around. Now what we're using to make this is a metallic looking cord called ratatail. Now I've made them in gold. I ran out of gold, so I made one in silver, and I think there's a silver one on the actual films. But I've now got some more cord. Oops, let's put him just how he should be, just about like so. I've now got some gold cord, and you can see that I've been a bit busy making. I've got to make two for an order, so we're going to be dipping in and out of those two that I'm making. You can see that I've made the gold monkey's fist, and that's come out probably the best monkey's fist I've ever done, but that's quite small and intricate, so how I'm going to film this I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to give it the best go I can. Strangely enough, you can see the cords coming down there. Now when I made this, I wanted it 10, 10 and 10 on an inch polystyrene ball, but the way my jig is, I've actually got 10, 9 and 10, which works out just about perfect. So I could probably get away with 9, 9 and 9, but I'm going to stick with the 10, 9 and 10 passes, which I'll show you. The wings are angel's wings, still made out of ratatail, but there's basically 10 bites along the top, and then it forms into one of the wings. Now I've got to make one more wing. The ratatail that I'm using is a gold, and it's 2mm in diameter. Now to make the monkey's fist, you're going to need 12 feet of that particular cord. So I think without delay we'll go on and start making the monkey's fist. Now the monkey's fist, the heart of it is an inch polystyrene ball, but I like to reinforce it with a bit of masking tape or builder's tape, and I like a couple of layers, to be quite honest. If I go round once, just tear off, flatten down, go the opposite direction, so we're covering all of the polystyrene. I've lost my tape now, but that's basically one. See if we can get this undone, because that is one layer. I want to put two layers on, just to fortify the polystyrene. Apologise if you can hear some banging outside. Some guys are doing some home improvements. Shouldn't interfere too much with us, unless he bangs his finger, starts swearing. Then I'll have to do a bit of editing. Right, so there we are. A 1 inch polystyrene ball covered in masking tape, as I call it, twice. Yeah. Now I'm just going to set the jig up now. There's the jig, faithful old jig. And what I tend to do is try and start off small and then spread them out wider so that the ball just sits in there. So if I just sit the ball in there like so, you can see that the tops have splayed out. Well, because I got a multi-top hole, I can choose the hole. So I'll do that now and come back to you. Well, there's our jig with the 1-inch polystyrene ball. As you can see, I've got it wider at the top and I just let it fall down there. I've got my 12 feet of ratatail with a 2mm fid on one end. I'm going to start it like so, and I'm going to go round firstly 3 times, back to that starting point just there, keeping the tension. I'm going to then get hold of a pin, put it through the first bit fiddly, put it through the first cord and just into the ball slightly, like so. That allows me to play around a little bit, yeah? So I'm going up there 10 times. 4, 5, 'Lost count now. Do a couple more and we'll have a count. Getting close. One more. Round to where we began. See how many we've got. 3, 6, 9, 10. That's the 10th one there. Yeah. Got the pin in the bottom one, just into the bottom of the ball. Just make a double count here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Right, so we've started here with the pin there. We've gone round 10 times. We're now going to go back through. And as I say, the way that my jig is works is it only really allows me to put 9 round the back, underneath, and up there, like so. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. Light's not fantastic in here, but that's where we're going, that way. I'm going to leave my pin in for the moment until we've gone round one more time. Got to keep this nice and neat. This ratatail cord does not really quite easily, but it's lovely stuff to use. It's really smooth. So we go round again, underneath, and then we'll be able to remove our pin. Pin can come out. Now I'm going to go, we'll just tighten that up a little bit. The pin pulled the bottom one slightly, like so, like so. Pull that through. Now I'm going to go back over and to the back at least 9 times. I'll come back to you. Well, there's our 9 going back, around and back up. There's the 9. So we've got 10 coming up, 9 going across. Now we're going to get the fid and go down behind that post, but to this right hand side, down like so, yeah? So we're going down like so, there. Grab hold of our fid, pull the loop through like so, and then we're going to go back under, back through the jig, back under, so we've gone back under, and then we're going to come up through there to the top again, and back to the what was the front, come over, and that's our first one, and that comes over like so. Yeah, now going to go down through again, back under, up through the threads, round 10 times. I hope that's quite clear. I'm going to go ahead and do the next 10 and show you the completed thing. Yeah, well, there we are. As I say, just gone over that way from the front to the back, back round, coming up through 10 times. So just to recap, we got 10 going up, 9 going across, and 10 going round the back again. Now we're going to take that jig off, and we end up with the monkey's fist like so. Just spend a couple of seconds there getting things just in the right place. That last one I just done was quite difficult. It is a fiddly job. This is why I'm having trouble with filming it. The angel's wings are going to be hard to show as well, but I'll show as much as I can. So if we go back now to the small end, not the long end, which I've taken the fid off of, the small end, we can get hold of that one, and we can see that we're moving this outer one here. Yeah, we're going to get our small piece, hold it up onto the ball, that gives us slight friction, so I know that this piece here is going to this outer loop here. We'll pull the, just make sure we got all the cords in the right place again. We're going to pull down on that cord, and we'll start working our way up the ball like so. So that's the first full loop. I think that's, see if I can get it so that we can show you there. I've just done that first full loop there. I'm going on to this second loop now, so I'm pulling it from the base like so, just so it goes into position nicely there. I'm keeping that pressure with my finger on there, going to the next loop, bringing it up, making sure it's in place, and I'm going to carry along now so that I tighten all of these up, and I'll come back to you then. Right, back again. Now that is those 10 all tightened up. Well, I say tightened up, they're just placed. I'm going to go around again after I've done the whole ball, just to get that little edge, make it look perfect. Don't know if it's going to look quite as good as this one, because I did this one offline. This one I'm sort of catering for filming as well. So that's those 10 tightened up to there. We go round the back like so, and got this loop. It's going to go back over that way, so it's going to come out like so. Yeah, so that's gone across there. It's changed direction, so we can actually start to tighten those all the way around now. That will give us our starting point on this side here. going to do the rest of the ball and come back to you and show you, because it's not easy online because it's so small. Welcome back. That's tightened the ball once. I usually tighten them twice, because the problem with these polystyrene balls, if you pull too tight, then you can distort the whole thing. But it comes to a point where you think, am I happy with it? And I'm more than happy with that one. So now we have our two bodies for our two snitches. I'll just clean the edges up on this. I tend to cut and burn and then just tuck the end, cut and burn, and then just cut the end, tuck the end just underneath the threads. So we'll have two bodies. We'll now go on to make the angel's wings with a 10 bite. All these bits and pieces that we cut off, just keep hold of them. We're going to need a little bit of it a bit later on in the project. Come back to you. Right, the angel's wing. To make the angel's wing, we just need the whole ball of cord. We're going to lay that down on the floor and just pull off of that as we need it. Going to make a loop, and with that loop is going to be about from one end to the other, if you pull it tight, about 3 inches. Yeah, we're going to fasten those two bits together with a pin. Like so. Yeah, don't know if you can see that. So that's from that pin to where my thumb is here, is about 3 inches. And then we're going to weave loops up through this main circle, yeah? So we're going to come over and then go under and up. And we're going to come under, over, all fingers now. There we go. So we now got 2 bites. That's 1 bite there, 1 bite there. We've got to end up with 10. Bring the main cord into a loop underneath the bottom one, over the next one, under and over. That gives us 3 bites. One, two, 3. Now I'm going to carry on doing that. I'll do one more, but I'm going to carry on doing that until we got 10 bites along the bottom there. So main bulk of the cord into a loop, over, under, over, under and over. Here, parting them, that gives us 4 bites. Back to you when I've done the 10. So there we have 9 bites going along the base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We want 10, so I'll go up through with the slack cord one more time. Now when I reach the top, what you'd normally do with an angel's wing is snip it off, so that you know well, that's what I used to do. I used to snip it off, and then I'd actually be able to control the thing on my lap without it being attached to anything. But I found that if we leave it attached to the cord, just finish that up, going up through there, for our last 10th time, and I'll explain what I'm trying to get to. Right, so that's complete, but all of these cords are singles and the middle ones are double. We'll disregard that. This exercise, this little bit of knowledge, is to actually save a load of waste, because what we're going to do is we're going to tighten it up as it is the first time round. The second time round we'll snip it, and you save yourself about 4 or 5 feet of, or 3 or 4 feet of cord, which stays on the end of the ball. But I'm going to persevere with that. I'm going to tighten that up, and I'm going to tighten it up a second time. I'll come back to you. Yeah. Well, here we are after tightening up once on that angel's wing. As you can see, I've got the huge loop on the top, where I've yet to pull the last strand down through, but you can see how much material is hanging through the loop. So my idea is that we actually pull that loop without lassoing anything, pull that loop to a workable size, i.e. something like that. We've still got our 2 double cords down the center. Show you that. Now the idea is that we now cut the loop. We've saved all that cord onto our ball. We'll pull it out from the bottom, so there it goes down through, and that leaves us with 1 strand. Now that's all the cord that we've actually used on this angel's wing. I don't know what the length is, because as I say, I take it off the ball. I then sort of manipulate it so that the gaps on that center start to fill in, and then tighten up again. I'm not going to tighten it up on screen, but I do use a pair of snipe nose pliers. Now as you can see, the cord's coming out this side. I tend to get hold of that last loop there, yeah, that last loop, pull it nice and tight, and where that loops around the bottom cord, that's my starting point. So I go up from there. So that bit I've got there is actually slack, nice and tight on that one. It goes through the whole knot now and comes out this side. So I'm pulling the slack that I had on that bottom knot through the knot, then I just work my way up. I'm going to now tighten up to try and get that looking something like this. Yeah, I'll join you at the other end. Well, here's the finished item after 2 tighten ups. Come out just about the same size, and they're going to go like so. Yeah, I'm going to take a break from this at the moment, but I just wanted to say that tension is key. With these, it's really tight. You've got to really, I didn't use the pliers on the second tightening of this one. I managed to get hold of it with my fingernails, but it does need to be quite tight. These not so much. You need to keep the shape so they're not quite as tight, but tension is key. Come back to you soon, and we'll start to do some of the twirly bits around the face of the body. Yeah. Well, welcome back. You can see that I've finished now. I did actually try to film putting all these pieces of cord around the body. It was more difficult than I thought, and I was making a hash of everything. So basically what I've actually going to say to you is that I've used the same coloured ratatail cord as 4 coming round like so. Yeah, found a different coloured piece of gold. I've got 2 or 3 that I could have chosen from, and then on each circle, on each corner if you like, I did 2 more with a different colour. I think I used that one actually because I got hardly any left, but that was the idea. It was super glued. I had to use a pin and a pool of super glue just to touch on it. Too much super glue and you'll start to discolour the cord, but I'm quite pleased with those. So I've got a little squadron of these things now. I finished it off by just making a simple small ring of cobra. Yeah, cobra sits down like that, this goes on like that. Yeah, as I say, be a bit careful with the super glue. You can see that I've got a little touch on the front of that one, which is unfortunate, but I did look to see if I could actually colour that out with some gold paint. I did some trials on a spare piece of cord and it was a no-go. The colours just won't match. But I'm quite pleased. I hope my customer's quite pleased. Thanks for joining us on Cord Art, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.